guys. It is 7:44. Oh, awesome. p.m. on Tuesday, the 125th day I'm doing this. Here's your daily dose of hope. And I'm really grateful and really proud of myself because I have just been moving so much energy. And what I mean by that is really not just contemplating, but doing things to, I guess, reconcile, like, how do I want to live my life? Like, what do I want? And one of the things I decided I'm going to do is I'm going to redefine what I'm going to consider a successful day. And I'm going to make the criteria something that I 100% can do every day so that I experience success every day. Because if there's one thing that even my inner critic has to give me credit for, it's that I'm always trying my hardest. So it really is never a lack of effort per se. It's, I'm doing a lot of energy work, like I'm learning about that, which I want to do in my community as well. So I'm excited to learn more about that. And the facts are, I am still in physical pain. I am still not feeling great. And yet, when I just have like a little love seat, and when I literally put my feet up, and I was like learning about energy, it was resonating with me. I was like, okay, this might be something, that I just naturally harmonize with. And, I'm just, like I said, I'm just processing so much. And I think that's a great term for it because it's like, not that I know much about technology, as you know, but, if like a website is like processing the information, it's like, oh, the payment is processing. Like it's doing the work to have it go through. Ooh, yeah. So that being said, it's incredible. Like, it's just really important to ask yourself questions and to realize that, like, if it's all about like taking responsibility, right, which I wholeheartedly agree with, well, that also means being responsible to yourself, right, and for yourself. And what I mean by that is if the truth is that your default is to absorb people's energy or something like that, or that you are affected by things, then in this, as you are transforming, it's important to limit exposure to things that aren't good for you, right? So anyway, I'm really tired because I faced another fear today, so I'm still walking the walk every day. But I'm just sort of, I'm going to say slaying dragons, but if you heard what they were, they wouldn't sound impressive, but they are. Like, and so I'm just telling myself, you don't slay 10 dragons in one day, right? Like, energy at one time is finite, We can replenish our energy, but, like, we have... And so the thing I was learning about today, which I've even talked about on here just instinctively, is how, like I said, if I think of my body as like a container, and like if I'm full of other people's energies, there's not space for my energy. There's not space to figure out what do I like, right? So I realized that once again it comes down to boundaries. And so one of the things I'm going to do is, it's 7:49 right now. If I'm being honest with myself, right, I'm exhausted. And I don't have to stay up tonight. So I'm going to finish getting ready for bed after this and probably go to bed, which, it's like, yes, there's a part of me that's like, but this is your break. This is supposed to be your time to have fun. But I'm reminding myself that, like, I could go do something fun right now and I would have a decent time because I make sure I do. But I wouldn't be able to absorb, like I'm tired. And when I say I'm tired, it means I'm about to pass out, right? So it's like I'm exhausted. So that being said, sorry, the quote is we must be willing to let go of the life we have planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. And, I'm going to tweak this a bit for myself personally. And it's like, we must be willing to let go of the life that maybe we were put in so as to design the life that we actually deserve to have or want to have. That's what I'm going to say because that's what's coming to me. And I was talking to someone today, a friend, and I was talking about anger, and she's like, "Well, I'm not an angry person." I said, "I'm not an angry person either by any means, so I'm not at all suggesting to lash out ever. But what I'm saying is, if you're in tune with yourself, and you're not, especially if you're not an angry person, you don't have anger issues." And let's say you've just done a meditation, and you've done the work to get yourself like good, and then something happens, and all of a sudden you feel angry. I'm not even saying to lash out, even if the person deserves it. But what I'm saying is take that as a signal of, what was that about? And especially if you're not naturally an angry person, like if you don't have anger issues, most likely you just had a boundary or you just had someone that was disrespectful, like truly, And so what I'm saying is then notice that anger, instead of squashing down that anger, use the energy of that anger to do something for yourself, as I keep talking about. But that's what I'm saying is I'm letting myself feel the frustration because I have every right to feel the frustration because I've been treated not okay, like this isn't okay. But I'm ultimately using the frustration as fuel of like, okay, what can I do about it, And so, yeah, that being said, I feel like things are really starting to, like, I just think of like that magnet. Oh, I heard something really good today because I'm continuing to study every day because that's just what I like to do. I want to always keep moving forward. And I thought of this. I thought of there are some things that I'm going to consider like weed changes, like you can just pluck, And then there's some things I'm going to consider root changes. And I'm going through some root changes right now. I don't want to put a band-aid on it. I want to figure it out. I want to see, okay, if this was like a business, like what things need to be tweaked, what things need to be, changed, what things need to be eliminated, right? And I was telling someone today on an awesome phone call, I was like, I feel like I was dumped into the wrong, like, life, basically. This is not what I believe I'm meant to do as far as being like a single mom and having to deal with just the negativity and the so, which is true, no one's meant to be in that. So then it's like, okay, but I'm not going to succumb to that. I'm not going to spread that. So what can I do? And it's like, what I can do is I can, learn more and, just do what's in my power. Like right now, I'm in a lot of physical pain. Now, is it absolutely unbearable to the point I can't talk? No, but it's kind of close. So if I had to do something right now, could I possibly do it? Probably, because I'm pretty badass. Like I'm pretty that. But what happens is when we have to do that so often, we end up overriding any signals we have from our body, and so our body just continues to deteriorate until it's the point of no return. And that's what I'm doing, what's in my power to not get to, so it's just reminding myself, okay, so You're in a lot of physical pain. You're very, very tired. So, what would you do if you, truly like loved yourself and respected yourself and that type of thing? It's like, then you would rest, right? So, anyway, I'm just really grateful because I still feel like I'm I'm absolutely in the process, like in the transition, but I'm still doing it every single day. And now that I'm redefining what success means every day, I'm really honestly excited about that because, like, the person was asking, they were just trying to understand, and they were like, well, why can't your place be messy? Or why can't, and it was like, it's not that it can't be messy, but I want to, like I said, do like a root change, like do like a fundamental lifestyle change so that all these things can start to sort themselves out. So I'm not constantly going against the grain because that alone is exhausting to feel like you're going against what you're meant to do, right? So yeah, that being said, it was another big day. I am hosting another live body doubling session tomorrow morning. So I am excited about that. And that's another reason I'm going to get to bed so that I can set myself up for success. And, there's a part of me that's like, well, what if you're still in a lot of physical pain and you're still exhausted, right? But that's the hypervigilance. That's the, I think it's called the chimp brain, where it's like, but what about this? What about this? What about this? It's like, truthfully, who knows? But I'm doing what I can to stack the odds in my favor, right? And what I used to do, what's still my old pattern, is, without I didn't realize it, is if I was already stressed about something, I would then stress myself out 10 times more. It was almost like, kind of like that bully thing of like self-deprecating yourself before, so that potentially the bully's words don't hurt quite so much, right? It's like that. And now I'm trying to be like, well, okay, this is stuff outside the realm of control. What's inside the realm of control? I can't even control if I get good sleep tonight. But I can set an intention. I can, do what I can, which is get ready for bed and be in bed and turn on the meditation, right? And so, and that's one of the things I'm going to start doing too, is say, my intention for today is to do this, whatever it is. And I think that's really going to help, like, focus the laser of my brain of, like, like almost like, so then at least when things pop up, I realize those are things popping up that, yeah, maybe they need to be handled too, but that wasn't the intention for the day. So that's not going to take the driver's seat. That's not going to take top priority unless it absolutely needs to be. Because part of my issue is too much going on at the same time. So it's like, you think you're being productive but really you're just scattered the whole time, So, and I think it also just builds that sense of agency, sense of, success and progress. If it's like, I intend to do this, so that's what I'm going to put all my energy into doing. And then when things come up, it's like, okay, but I intended to do this, so that's what I'm going to do at least first. At least for this amount of time. And I'm going to chunk my days of, like, for this hour, this is my intention. Is that my stomach? So, anyway, I love you guys, and remember, you are the sky, we are the sky. So whatever weather you had today, which means emotions, physical sensations, events, you were here yesterday, you're here today, you'll be here tomorrow. And that really does help me weather the storm, to be like, tomorrow is a new day. So, all right, love you guys. Have a great night.